Alright. Night 8. The time comes for me to meet up with Kadir and hopefully D'Angelo too. The last position on my list. This better be good.
And that is D'Angelo's agency.
Looks like a dump. Blech.
Perfect for the clan of the hidden.
I thought he wasn't hidden. I thought he was missing, and to be honest, I kinda expected the worst. Why would you look for him in the most obvious place?
I've been asking around and I've got a hunch. Just trust it and start looking.
Fine. Who is D'Angelo anyway?
He's a good man, a useful man, but it took me time to get used to him. He takes looting very, very seriously. His thing is acting like a idiosyncratic noir detective. I heard it helps him cope with something, but I never felt comfortable tackling the subject.
Doesn't sound too quirky by this city standards. Wait, what is that? There's a rat on the floor, frozen in unnatural position. Weird shit. Examine it, kick it. Despite my disgust, I picked the rodent up.
Now, that's what being an investigator is all about. Leave no stones unturned.
Shut up! This is so gross!
What have you found out?
I take a close, hard look at the rat. It's alive, but from what I see, it's just stretching out and like grinding his teeth without a care in the world.
That's called bruxing.
What?
When a rat chatters his teeth, that's bruxing. He's not acting parrot or aggressive, so I guess he's just happy.
I look at his face. I don't know, his eye keeps coming out of the socket and going back in. He looks disgusting, like he's in a lot of pain.
Oh, so he's boggling. He must be really content.
How does he know so much about... Never mind, I'm getting an eerie feeling. This is weird, man. I have a feeling there's a kindred hiding nearby weird.
My thought exactly.
Kadir slowly approached a secluded corner of the room.
And there it is.
He kicks a pile of clothes lying on the floor. I'm just a corpse. Leave me alone.
Lucky for you, we're all corpses here, D'Angelo. You're among friends.
Clumsily, drunkily, the pile of clothes transform into an unkempt man who looks like he's suffering from some sort of skin disease. You know, a true friend would just bury me.
Unlucky for you, we're not that kind of friends.
Lucky, unlucky, schmucky my ass. How did you guys get I was here?
See, I've been asking around for the past few days. What I've learned is that, for reasons that can be best described as nebulous, you've made quite a few enemies since last year.
Yeah, tell me something I don't know.
And one thing that caught my interest is how everyone has it on good authority that your place was raided a few times without you being found, yet nobody has assumed responsibility for these acts.
Well, doesn't this den always look that it was just raided? Can't blame anyone for making an educated assumption.
I had a hunch this might be more than rumors. See, it sure looks like a convenient coincidence when everyone hears something that makes them look the other way, and coincidences are for fools.
Well, you got my number, and you can't see my ugly mug right in front of you, so it's no use playing dumb, I suppose.
Agreed. You've seriously spent all these weeks holed up in here. Is the hunger not getting to you?
You've got a lot of critters around this area, and we've become chums. Some of these rats are actually got addicted to the kiss. They come to me every night, acting like coke, hound, begging for it. Been getting them drunk just to get some rush out on feeding on them. Feels a bit like slathering a horribly burned piece of pizza in ketchup, but in this situation, I'll take what I get, you dig? It's so gross, I fail to keep my poker face, he notices. So, who's the dame?
Julia Sawitsky, a detective investigating Baron Callahan's death.
He raises his head for a short while to stare at Kadir's eyes and treat him with a vulgar snicker. Phooey! So somebody has finally put the old man of ice. Whoever did it did the world a huge favor. Absolutely, but I got orders to establish who that was, and I've been stumbling in the dark for the past few days. We need your help. Well, I'll be damned. Your sleuth skills must really not be up to par if you're begging a bum for help. I'm not exactly a suit, an unusual key or some.
Have some dignity, man.
He's just sorry to look at. Dignity? Spare me, kiddo. I've got all the dignity I need, right? Oh, shit. He accidentally lets a metal flask in his hand slip out and fall to the floor, then struggles to pick it up. Kadir can't bear to watch.
God, what happened to you, Johnny? I never seen you this slow before.
Stress-related disorder causing a disruption in my routine, is what I think a shrink would say. Happens when a lot of shady folks are out to put a stake through your chest.
Help us out. Tell us what you know and we might be able to help you in return.
Yeah, respect where it's due, I miss. But I think it's going to be the other way around. I ain't telling the two of you shit, pardon my French, until I know I can count on some protection.
Johnny?
Don't you Johnny me, Kadir Alasmai. I know your level, but I also know that your honor is one of the few things you care about. You want me to endanger myself? You put it on the line for me. And that's that. You either promise to extend your protection to me, or the moment you step away from here, I sneak away into the sewers, and that'll be the last time you'll ever see me. Kadir shoots me a wary sideways glance.
I know. He drives a hard bargain.
Especially for someone whose sense of self-worth does not exactly appear to be sky high at the moment. Alright, sorry. I'm getting tired because there's nothing new on this segment. I feel like I should say something. I've got this nagging feeling in the back of my mind. So that was his role model. So how did he die? He's pretty good looking.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense for him to have had a role model like that, doesn't it?
Oppressing his own people, claiming it was all their names. So at the end of the day... Okay, I'm gonna read this part. This is interesting conversation. Yeah, the thing with the Lord Castlereagh. He's pointing at the painting of the man overseeing his entire office. I met murder on the way. He had a mask like Castlereagh. Very smooth he looked, yet grim. 7 bloodhounds follow him. He seems to have completely switched his modus operandi upon seeing the murder scene. He's in his own little world, and this behavior was become more machine-like, erratic.
I still don't follow.
I never knew the old Irish coot was into the Napoleonic era, but then again, I have no idea about his exact age, of course, so maybe that's when he lived, or was bound. Anywho...
pay minimal attention to me, alright? Who am I looking at here?
Right. So, that's one Lord Castlereagh, born as Robert Stewart, a British Secretary of State of Foreign Affairs at the beginning of the 18th century. Incredibly influential, incredibly hated. Ask one fella about Castlereagh, and he'll tell you, he was the man who destroyed Napoleon for good, the man who shaped British politics for ages, the man who built foundation for European unity at Vienna. Ask another fella, and he'll tell you he was the man who destroyed the Irish Parliament, the man who cracked down on any possibility of reform and then supported the cavalry massacring peaceful protesters. He's spouting these facts like the computer. Is that the hint of a detective's photographic memory? I have to say, it's downright perverted for an Irishman to put up Castlereagh's portrait in his office. Definite proof that our victim was sick in the head. Ah, as if we needed more evidence there. Probably idolized him too, maybe identified with him even. Yeah, that's possible. Callahan and his ilk adore those jack-off who strive to reach across the aisle and achieve hard compromises. Too bad nobody else even ever remembers them well. I feel like I should say something. I've got this nagging feeling in the back of my mind.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense for him to have a role model like that, doesn't it?
Oppressing his own people, claiming it was all in their name, when at the end of the day or the night they were back in the shitter and he was still on top? Yeah, sure sounds familiar.
200 years later, all these societal changes, and it still works the same for us kindred? That's a cheery thought.
Not just the kindred. That's still how this world works, period, kiddo. Napoleon or Bourbon Restoration, communism or capitalism, Panhard or Callahan. Once the Borgies establish themselves, you gotta completely reset the rules of the game. And a few years later, do it again. Again and again, until you're dead, or deader than dead. If that doesn't sound fine by you, you can always just join foes like old boss here. Or accept this invisible noose that's getting tighter around your neck every single night. He steps above Callahan's corpse and laughs. Posterity will never survey a nobler grave than this. Here lies the bones of Castlereagh. Stop, traveler, and piss. Ha 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 ha. And he kicks these bones with glee, causing me to jump a little. He still's under the influence?
Isn't that tampering with a crime scene?
Kiddo, as far as I can see, this crime scene has been fucked with 3 times over. Can't really be ruined more than it already has.
I agree, but it looks about the same as the last time I was here.
Then it was already a total mess before you ever got here. Whatever.
Standing by the metal shutters on the windows, he abruptly changes the topic.
Light-proof. Have you ever toyed with these?
No, in general, I avoid machinery like that. It doesn't like me, and I don't like it.
They don't like you?
They don't work properly. It's like I give technology an allergy. Sometimes industrial cameras mess up my face. Sometimes I can't use a phone. You'd think it could be useful, but it's just a curse.
I see. You think these blinds could have been the murder weapon? Hadn't crossed my mind. I did wonder about that. How so?
Yeah, I did entertain the possibility.
Would make sense, wouldn't it? Let's say for some reason our stiff was standing here as the sun was rising. Maybe staring at old poor Castlereagh, looking for a soulmate to accompany him to the other side. Yet another guy pushed to suicide by politics. Pretty old school, romantic, yada yada yada. Or maybe it was torpor. Or maybe it was a freak accident. Or maybe it was premeditated. In any case, sunlight would be a perfect murder weapon, no? He takes off the mask to shoot a disfigured smile in my way. Well, that's just a theory anyway.
Well, it sounds sound.
Does it? Because I was just spitballing here. It's practically impossible to make certain now, kiddo. The most logical cause of final death would be damage to the heart that can be easily be done without damage to the skeleton. And he sets off with a wink.
What is he playing at here?
The safe. Anyone made a crack at it yet?
As far as I know, only Callahan knew the code, and the safe itself is pretty hard to crack.
Watch me, kiddo.
He presses an ear to the safe and slowly begins to rotate the dial. Stop clowning around. You're a safe cracker now.
Well, you're cursed with countenance such as mine, and you decide on the job such as mine, you gotta be a jack of all trades.
Yeah, but still sounds pretty bad.
Last year, there was a random fella visiting a heritage museum in Alberta. He found a safe that hasn't been opened in 40 years. Not a single specialist, not even a blacksmith could have handled it. The man just studied the numbering, listened closely to the mechanism, attempted the most sensible combination, and voila! The unthinkable happened. That's where just trusting your instinct leads ya. Too bad he found nothing inside but an old patient. A metallic screech. The door opens. I'll be damned. And it looks like we've got the same case here. Confetti. A few random papers scattered around. But for what it's worth, the lock has obvious traces of mechanical manipulation. Probably recent too. Reeks of foul play. But what do we know for sure, really? I'm done here. You can take over. Another wink. Another walk in a random direction. I look inside the safe. Quite spacious. I haphazardly grab everything that's left inside the safe and hide it on my person, then close the door so that nobody knows me. He managed to crack it. When I turn around, he's motioning me to come closer to a sheet of paper lying on the desk. So yeah, kiddo, you probably know the entire beeswax about Schrodinger's cat, so I'm not gonna bore you with that, but honestly, anything could have happened here. I read the text he's written on the empty page. This place is wired. It gives me chills. I think I'm okay. I've tried to record my own voice a bunch of times on different hardware just to see if I can. It mostly comes out as a noise. He nods, then starts scribbling something else as he continues blabbering on and on. The best strategy would be to make an educated guess about what happened here, then interrogate everyone about it. Maybe you'll take someone by surprise, drop a hook on them. The wiretap is a chip in the broken glass bottle on the floor. Absolutely sure it belongs to Kaiser. Kaiser, the elusive information broker, the talk of the city, finally got an excuse to nab him. I understand. I think I have an idea how to use it to find him. Should I notify Kadir? Scribble, scribble, takes longer than before. So yeah, I'll be meeting up with Kadir. You stay here, sister. Maybe there's something you've been missing. Your call, doll. You're going beyond his jurisdiction, so he will try to stop you. Whatever you do, just give me a 10-minute heads up, so I can get to relative safety. For sure. It's back into the sheriff's custody for me. See you around, Julia. Sorry this old codger couldn't have been more help. Oh, if I don't contact him in 2 hours, let Kadir know what happened. I'll be going. ... I've got a plan. Now all I need to execute it is a clueless bystander. This guy will do. Do you need me for anything else? Not really. Better take a hike before the guy you've just called shows up. I can't guarantee he won't make you hurt. Will do. He puts his head down and obediently trots away down the street. I might have messed with his head a little too much using my Willy kindred charms, but I needed him to tell Kaiser where I want to meet quite clearly, multiple times. I would have given him the kiss as thanks at least, but I told the big man I won't be here all night and that he'd better hurry up, so I want to be ready whenever he comes. Less than 15 minutes later, a menacing black limo takes a fast, sharp turns onto my street and stops right in front of me. Suddenly, something like an acid flashback hits me. I know this limo, I've seen it all around the place a few days, but never thought it might be telling me. Still, it must have. Looks like I'm finally about to get some answers. Door opens and a raspy voice comes from inside. Get the fuck in, Sowinski! I smile and accept the invitation. There he is, Kaiser, the king of New York City information highways, surrounded by screens, speakers, and newfangled technological gizmos of all kinds. First impression, he's one repulsive son of a bitch. D'Angelo was also a sewer rat, and he might have had a similar physical disadvantages, but at least he was wholly endearing. With this guy, there's no room for any kind of sentiment. He's inhumanly cold, and I get the feeling he's been like this for ages. You're getting on my nerves, little lady, and I'm far from being the only one. I get the sense he meant for all this to be threatening. Instead, I'm elated after a week of running around like a headless chicken, unsure if I was getting anywhere. Finally, I get a compliment. If there's one thing I learned back in Lodestar, it was that you only know you're doing your job correctly when someone powerful gets visibly mad.
Don't piss me off, old man. If you want to escalate, I can escalate, and there's a lot of expensive shit here you probably wouldn't want me to break.
Ha! Yes, I didn't hear you and Tech don't get along. Is that why you left that mess down in the double spiral basement?
He scoffs at me with pure contempt.
Listen, I will speak as plainly as humanly as possible to get this through your little head, since it's obvious you're not willing to read the obvious signals. You were hired for one thing and one thing only, little lady, to suck at your job, and you couldn't even do that correctly. People keep stopping by my limo this week, telling me, Kaiser, dear Kaiser, we keep trying to make her understand how hopeless she is, but she just won't get a clue. She doesn't have any evidence, she doesn't have any testimony, but she still goes around knocking on everyone's door, causing disturbance. It's such a fucking headache. Usually I try to be a jovial host, so I cheer them up. She's not that much of a dunce, I say. She's making mountains out of molehills to make herself seem useful, I say. She's about to stop. But you, in your infinite idiocy, decided to prove me wrong in the most spectacular fashion by knocking on my very own door, forcing my hand, threatening me even. Are you autistic or something, huh? Can't read basic fucking social clues? Stop for 1 second and ask yourself, Cui bono, who even fucking wants you to solve anything, let alone this case? See, this city has a delicate system set in place. Usually it's flawless, but even since you started tinkering with it, it's been having this irritating malfunctions, and it's driving people.
Are you done?
A weird, disgusting sound, something between a gargle and a bark, escape his throat.
Unbelievable. All I'm hearing is that you're in possession of some information that might help me solve the puzzle I was presented with. If that's the case, I'm going to ask you to share it.
I swear, you're absolutely irredeemable, you fucking garbage dump of a woman! How do I get through all the rubbish in your head to drive my point in? Don't you know who I am?
Tell me the truth or else. I want to see your higher-ups. You are the one who at Callahan's place wired.
Oh, I know who you are. You are the person who had Callahan's place wired, which makes you a possible witness of sorts, or even a suspect.
Psh! For Christ's sakes, woman, get real! Even if your accusation were correct, then who, pray tell, who would you report them to? Do you even know what kind of people I answer to?
No. Care to acquaint us?
Is that really what you want? You want to know who pulls the strings? Give me 10 minutes and I can arrange a meeting. But this is your last chance to turn back. If you don't, I can tell you now, you're going to be sorry.
The big kahuna! Finally, now we're talking.
Yes, the big kahuna. So this is your final answer, huh?
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
He takes out his phone and begins furiously typing. I relax in the seat. Finally, we're getting somewhere. It might be dangerous, yeah, but at least I will finally get a clue of what's going on.
I'm just saying, this is the point of no return. My boss doesn't fuck around. Best case, you're going to beg him to take you in.
Whatever. He keeps grumbling under his breath, but I'm not even listening. I just watch the streets go by. ... Until out of the blue, I experience a strong sense of foreboding. A shadow comes out. I first spot her in the corner of my eye. She's hovering right next to Kaiser with an expression that's impossible to discern. When she speaks, her voice is machine-like yet otherworldly.
Fine, we're 5 minutes away or so. Get the boys ready to give her the Mel Gibson special.
The moment he puts away his phone, the silhouette disappears.
We're 5 minutes away. Better start figuring out the ways you might prove yourself useful to the honcho.
There is no honcho. Oh my god, of course this motherfucker is setting me up. I need to get out of here, now. I do the first thing that comes to mind. I grab the door handle and pull. He notices me scrambling and struggles to grab me.
Hold up, you stupid fucking cunt!
Glass breaking.
Loud thuds of something heavily hitting the asphalt. Tires screeching. I think he grabbed me. I think he tried to pull me back in. I think we fell out of the limo. I think his body cushioned my fall. But I'm struggling to process what's going on. It's like I'm blanking out. When I come to, he's already attempting to get up, cursing under his breath. The limo has stopped a little further in, but whoever the driver is, he's not coming out. Fucking. When he stands up, he will be out for vengeance. He's an older vampire who knows how strong he is. I need something that would give me the advantage. The pepper spray, of course. It probably won't be as effective as it would be on a living person, but it's still worth a try. I limp toward the asshole, disarm the device, aim towards his eyes, and unload the entire canister. Ah! It worked. It actually worked. I keep up the offensive. I punch him, kick him, throw him around. I pummel him. I smash his head against a curb. I struggle to harm him in whatever ways I can, like a frightened animal. I don't know how long it lasts. It might be 1 minute. It might be eternity. The driver steps out of the limo to help his boss, but once he sees what I'm doing to him, he runs away in panic. Feels good. Feels absolutely horrible. Once I'm done, I sit on the curb and scream my lungs out to avoid crying. Then I look at him. He seems shocked, barely hanging on. I know what I've done was extremely stupid. I did hear how he's one of the most influential figures in the city, but that's probably why he never expected to get his ass whooped, especially by someone like me. When he speaks again, his voice is pathetic, surprisingly close to a whimper.
You'll pay! You'll fucking pay! You lost, mislaid, and abandoned property of a woman!
He's unwell, talking nonsense. I approach him again. You wanted to have me whacked? What do you think, I'm stupid?
You need to be taught a lesson!
Well, would you look at who ended up teaching who? Now talk. Tell me everything you know now about Callahan's final death. All of it.
Go to hell! You can fuck me up! However bad you want, I'm still not going to tell you shit! You try anything, there will be consequences! There will be retribution! My mouth is shut.
He might be my last chance to solve the case, but if I don't force him to talk, he won't. There's a burgeoning thought in my mind, but it scares even me. Do I dare to push him to the edge? Make him suffer until he squeaks? This is a barrier I won't cross. No more human, still humane. All of you might be fucking monsters, but that doesn't mean I am.
Big words for someone who just beat up her fucking elder!
I will still get back at you. I will appeal to whoever I can.
Yeah, sweetheart, whatever. See, that's the good thing about being the lone voice of dissent. It's a mutually beneficial deal. One side gets the unearned moral superiority, the other side gets no resistance whatsoever.
Oh, I will resist, by whatever means necessary.
Spare me! Tomorrow night, you will see the compromise that everybody agreed on long ago. Progress is coming like a train. If you want to throw yourself on the tracks, be my guest. I would love to watch.
Tomorrow night? Why tomorrow?
Julia!
I look back over my shoulder and see Kadir. Kadir?
Bloody hell, what is wrong with you? Why does he look like that? This is why I didn't want you to get involved. I had a hunch. A hunch that the moment you get a whiff of true power, all brakes will be off.
Bullshit.
You're out of your damn mind. I should have you in for potential masquerade breach.
Just let me explain myself. This ugly fucker tried to have me beaten, maybe even killed. Don't you care about that?
I have no idea, Sheriff. No idea. She's dangerous, psychotic.
I will take care of you in a moment in my car, Kaiser. Hold on.
I'm not done questioning him yet. It looks like there's a major conspiracy to...
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave, and you're gonna be glad I leave it at that.
Julia ... If you do that, I'm gonna have to assume you're complicit.
That's worth 2 strikes in my book. You don't want to risk a third.
So So that's that? Tell me, was all of my footwork even for?
We'll be seeing each other, little lady.
Can you hear this?
Go home, Julia. But go home.
Fine, I will.
But before I do, I take a quick peek into Kaiser's limo, still abandoned a little further down the street. I skipped the church visit again tonight. I want more time to finish this report. Who knows, it might be my final one. I want to spend more time with Dakota. Yeah, just forget about the rest of the world. A lot happened tonight, but I can still manage to be at our apartment an hour earlier than usual. She should be glad, right? I sneak into the apartment as silently as possible, trying to surprise her. When I reach the bedroom, I see something unexpected. It hits me like a ton of bricks. At the beginning, I can't properly parse the sight. But when I finally understand what I'm looking at, it causes a wave of terror and disgust to swell up inside my chest. Yeah, Dakota is wearing Julia's clothes. ... What the fuck? She's shocked to see me. Doesn't know what to do. She's like a deer in headlights or a schoolgirl poorly trying to hide her misdeeds from her teacher.
You're early! Yes, I am. These are my clothes, Dakota. These are my cigarettes, and that's my jewelry on the table. Yeah, I was, And I'm pretty sure, God Almighty, I thought I was just being neurotic whenever I noticed something dreadfully familiar in you. I can explain. Please do explain. ... A good 10 seconds of awkward silent pass. I can see her spending an eternity in her head. This isn't what it looks like. Oh my god. It is exactly what it looks like. I will just come out and say it.
Dakota! Are you single white femaling me?
It all makes sense now.
No, come on, no!
I thought it was the leash in this relationship.
We watched that movie together. We made fun of Jennifer Jason Leigh together. A roommate stalking and imitating her own roommate. Ha ha ha. What a concept, right?
But I was being fed on in a far more sinister way without knowing it.
Don't be silly. Silly? I've never been even this serious with you.
Oops.
I've never ever been this serious with you.
So, whenever she puts on my makeup, whenever I use her as a mirror, was she always hyping me up because she wanted to live vicariously through me?
So many little things make sense in retrospect. The little ways you kept modulating your speech after me. The weird ways our tastes were always compatible. Some of your art feeling so familiar. None of it would trigger any alarms by itself, and yet...
She's as humanly embarrassed as possible.
Julia, listen. Don't fucking touch me!
I can barely think of anything more repulsive than being put on a pedestal like this. It's like the other person is begging me to perceive them as someone worse, if not outright subhuman.
Don't be like this. Just don't. You know, this would probably be infinitely more palatable if you talk to me like a person here and not like, I don't know, your fucking mommy. ... You know what? Fuck you. I've been locked in this apartment by myself because of all the pandemic shit going on. It's fucking me up. I know you have it hard right now, so I didn't want to bother you. Yeah, I was counting on you to ask about how I'm feeling. Babe, how is your work-life balance? Aren't you feeling claustrophobic? Hey, is it just me or is our drug supplies weirdly shrinking so too fast? But no! You were too much of a self-centered bitch! You regularly suck me dry, and it's okay, but the moment I entertain the thought of taking something in return, I'm crossing a line! Oh no, I'm a member of an immortal elite secret society. It's so hard to cope. Oh, Dakota, whenever I gracefully decide to visit our apartment, let's just do what I want until the pain stops. Fuck you! Fuck you! Sincerely! Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you! There's nothing you can do but take, and you should have learned by now that just taking won't make you happy, you big dumb bitch! Stop. Just...
I don't know what to say. I feel disgusted both with her and myself.
Just stop.
Dakota breaks down crying. She grabs a jacket and a purse, then runs out of their apartment. I don't try to stop her.
I stand there for a short while in silence and then lock the door. Did she take her keys? I don't know. I don't know if I care. I desired for someone else, not for myself. For a way to open a different world. Not get locked back in mine. Collapse onto the soft bed, I smell her perfume. I always liked it, but now it makes me slightly nauseous. I try not to think of Dakota. I think of Kaiser. I think of Kadir. I think of Callahan. No matter what I think of, I sense doom. I feel that I've just sealed my fate. Whatever it may be. Everything fucking sucks. Back into the void. Back into the void. Back into the void.